Kory, and he got first place actually at our
In the metas.
in the our meta tournament today, using Domain Monarchs.
Don't worry, I'm as surprised as you guys probably are by this point.
And I'll let him explain.
All right, so Domain Monarchs. It's literally what it says. Your whole point of this is to set up Domain, lock your opponent out as special summoning from the extra deck, hit him with Vanity's Fiend to lock him out as just special summoning in general, Majesty's Fiend, and just general Monarch shenanigan bullshit. Anyways, let's get straight into this. I run 3 Yugioh. She is she special summons out Yugiohs from the deck when she is summoned in any way, which gives you an extra normal summon, so she's your combo starter. Also, when she leaves the field, you can target one of your banished Monarch spell or trap cards and return it to your hand, so you'll probably be recycling Pantheism a lot with this. Maybe you'll recycle a couple of the Stormforths, whatever you need from your banished pile. She's great for that. I would also like to add, I actually managed to OTK a majority of my matches with this deck. I'll probably never get this lucky again, but I managed to do it this time, and that's the only thing that matters to me right now. Anyways, 3 Yugiohs after that. I know some people run 2 Yugiohs in this combo, but with all the level 1s that I can, level 6s that I can just tribute summon out right off the bat, he's not bad to run into in your opening hand. I mean, granted, you really don't want to, but he also, yeah, he can be ashed. No, he can't even be ashed, so like, sometimes just normal summoning this to go into Vanity's Fiend is better than normal summoning a Dia and risking it dying to Ash or Valor. No, this thing will still die to Valor. Don't do it. Don't get Valor. And I run 1 Mithra because even if I see it in my opening hand, I can still special summon it to get an extra tribute for extra tribute fodder. If I go through all 3 of the Adios effects and I don't have any more Adios in deck, I can actually special summon this off of a Dia. And since when she's tributed off for a tribute summon, you can tribute summon 1 more time that turn. So that's why I run the 1 of. I used to run 3, but it's not as needed anymore. Anyways, 2 Vanity's Fiend. Vanity's Fiend kind of explains itself. Most decks actually have a lot of trouble dealing with a card that can be that has absolutely no protection whatsoever, minus March. But I think I'm the only Monarch player who runs March anymore. Oh, and I run the 1 Majesties. So screw special summoning and screw monster effects. The only reason I run 1 of these instead of just the full 3 is I don't really want to see 3 of these, and this is searchable. This one's not. Konami, errata this to make this 1,000 defense. Leave the rest of it. That's all I ask. Anyways, this is just to stop your opponent from playing, and I see it often enough to the point of where it's helpful. Anyways, next I run 1 Karaz. This is kind of one of those things where you as a player get to choose how many of these you want to run. I really only found that having 1 is helpful, even though Aether is at 3, yes. Usually you're only going into this card to either extend your own combos to draw more stuff, or to interrupt your opponent, and usually you should be winning the turn after that with this. And that's all the level 6s that you can tribute summon in this deck. Next is the level 8s. 3 Erebus. I don't think this surprises anybody. Non-targeting, non-destruction removal from either hand, field, or grave. Hand at random, obviously. It can recycle itself by ditching a 1 Monarch spell or trap card from your hand, and it can recycle any of the Monarchs that way, minus Vanity's Fiend. It actually works for Majesty's Fiend, though, which is really funny. Anyways, it also sends your Pantheism, it sends your Primes, it sends everything you need to be in the graveyard to the graveyard. And then next is Aether. I was reminded today as to why she was limited. She gives this deck so much kill power, it's not even funny. Well, it's funny for me, and you if you're playing this deck. But the amount of times that I would tribute summon her out in order to special summon out another one of her just so I could add it to my hand at the end of the turn was just... Oh, it feels so good to have her back to 3. I just... my heart. Anyways, she special summons any of your Monarchs from the deck, so like... mainly Karaz, Erebus, or herself. But she can also interrupt your opponent with Karaz on their turn as well. So, or if they like target your Vanity's Fiend, you can activate her effect to tribute off your Vanity's Fiend so there's no longer a target and their effect fizzles, which granted is not the best, but if you got Domain up anyways, it's not the biggest loss. Anyways, that's it for all the monsters. I found it pretty pretty consistent with the build that it's at right now. I wouldn't really change much about that, but if you guys are obviously playing your own decks, so choose what you want. Next, your domain. It's Domain Monarchs. Just as long as you control a tribute summon monster and your opponent does not, they cannot access their extra deck. Plus, it also helps with your bigger Monarchs, so if you only have like one little fodder on the field, you can use this effect to down its level by 2 to make it so it's a 1 tribute monster versus a 2 tribute monster. And just so you guys know, all the big ones, Erebus and Aether, they both take either 2 tributes regularly, or you can tribute off 1 tribute summon monster to summon them that way. So that's why Aether is also really good, because if you have a tribute summon monster on your field, you can just tribute it off. There you go. Another reason she's really good is because I play 3 Stormforth. Yes, I know they're different rarities. No, I do not care. Just getting that out of the way. But this card paired up with Aether is already insane, but being able to just non-target tribute your opponent's stuff off, it turns pretty much all your Monarchs into a Kaiju, where you get the Kaiju. So, and the nice part is it says one of your opponent's monsters as if you controlled it. So if they're immune to spells, traps, or to spells, this isn't actually really affecting the monster. It's affecting what you contribute. And seeing as how you contribute their monster now, it's completely legal. Anyways, next is the return. Yeah, I know, it's too cloggy. Boo-hoo. This card just enables OTKs with Aether if you set up your grave properly. If it wasn't for this card, I don't think any of my OTKs would have actually gone through today, because I would tribute summon out like an Erebus on top of whatever was left, like my Vanity's Fiend, and then I would special summon out a Dios with a Dia with a Dios' effect to special summon out a Dios again, get another tribute summon, tribute off both of them with the Aether. Aether effect's gonna get back my Pantheism, so I can re-ditch my Pantheism, and then special summon all 3 monsters, and normally the board's cleared by this point because I've stopped them with Vanity's Fiend. And just, it felt so good to be able to OTK with Monarchs once again. That's all I can really say about that. Next, 3 Tenacity. It is the Monarch Spell and Trap card searcher. Completely worthless if you don't have a Monarch in your hand, mind you. Completely worthless if you don't have a Monarch in your hand. Oof. Careful, this deck bricks. Anyways, like I said, just searcher for any Monarch Spell and Trap card. That's pretty much it. It is a hard once per turn though, so be careful of that. 1 Pantheism. Your draw power, it's a free +1. You're going to draw 2 by recycling your hand of what you don't need. Say you drew into 2 Tenacity, you can play this, get rid of the 2nd Tenacity to search whatever you need. Honestly, I used this card mainly in order to go into March before I went for game, so that they couldn't hit me with any random little stuff that would target and destroy my stuff. I was really scared about it, and I just wanted to be able to go for game, and just having one in the March makes that a little more possible and a little less scary. That, and you know, just sitting on a board of Vanity's Fiend and March, that can sometimes just stop entire decks. Synchro spam, done. Link spam, done. There's no special summoning. But just remember, it is prone to removal just like everything else in this deck. So that's why I only run it as a 1-of to ensure my OTKs. Anyways, the power 3 in this deck, Rhoda searches for a Dia. Foolish Burial sends a Dia, a Dios, whichever one is not in your grave, or an Erebus if you need a Monarch and you have extra spells in your hands. My cards are really dirty and I need new sleeves soon, so please do not comment about that. And then 1 for 1, which will get you to special summon a Dia for free, which will special summon a Dios, and now you got your normal summon and your tribute summon on top of it. These cards have gotten really dirty, damn. I need to clean them. Anyways, that's it for all the spells. It's pretty straightforward. It just wants to beat you to death and not let you play in the process. Anyways, 2 Prime Monarch. You'll send this off of any of your big Monarchs, because it can special summon itself just by banishing 1 Monarch Spell or Trap card from your graveyard. But if you do open with it, it also will recycle your graveyard and give you a bit of draw power in the process as well. So it doesn't really matter where you put it at. You can have it at 3. I just didn't really like it at 3. I liked it at the 2 because I usually send them both off and just combo off them before I actually need to use the effect I've already gotten dead. Anyways, 2 Monarchs Erupt. Yeah, let's just shut off all monster effects on the field. That sounds completely fair, right? Yeah, if you played against True Draco, we did it first. Monarchs did it first. Anywho. One escalation of the Monarchs allows you to pretty much turn all of your Tribute Summon monsters into Aethers, tributing during your opponent's turn, because that's fair, right? Anyways, and then the one Solemn Judgment. I was running a lot more of this. I was running the full 3 when I first built this deck. I did not like it at 3, and granted, at 1, I'm still not the biggest fan, but it's also a free negate for a deck that doesn't negate things. So, worst case scenario, I open this, get out my big monsters, my vanities, and say something bad comes around, I can always flip this and I'm fine. Side deck, there's no extra deck because this is Domain Monarchs. If you're playing an extra deck with Domain Monarchs, there's a problem. If you're playing extra deck in extra deck Monarchs, that's okay, but do not do it in Domain Monarchs. Please and thank you. Anyways, so seeing as how I don't have an extra deck, I will just show you my side real quick. As usual, side is completely on you, yourself, and you. Depending on what you want to play, what you think is good against the meta. Me, I've been seeing a lot of traps. Trap-based decks starting to resurface a lot, so I kind of molded my thing around my extra deck around that. First is Spell Canceller. I only have 1. If I had 2 or more, I would probably side it. More than likely side it in, probably taking this out and this out, to be completely honest with you. But they're in here for now. Shuts off a lot of spells, and if you play this against Pendulums, it can just downright win you the game. Anyways, 1 Vanity's Fiend, because, like I said, I have 2 in the deck. Oh, how did I do that? What happened to my old ones? Oh, did I put them in the binder? I did. Anyways, 1 Vanity's Fiend, because that way if you sometimes just the Majesty is not worth it, you can always side this in. So you have the full 3. Speaking of, here's the other 2 Majesties. In case their monster effects are more annoying than them special summoning, this is the card for you. And the one card that single-handedly won me the tournament to get today is facing off against Trap Tricks. Trap Tricks can't do shit if they can't activate a single trap card. Plus, he was under the domain lock for the second game too, so like it did not work out in his favor. I mean, I think game 2 you kind of kicked my ass, didn't you?
Yeah.
Completely just destroyed me. Game 1,
I heavy storm dustered your trap
everything.
card. Yeah.
I had this set. He hit it on game 2, and there was just nothing else I could do. But 3 Jinzo, Tribute Summon monster, 2400 attack. Granted, it's got the 1500 defense, so it's not searchable, but neither is Vanity's Fiend. And sometimes this is more helpful than Vanity's Fiend is. Anyways, going on to the spells. 1 extra March in case you're having problems with that for whatever reason. 1 Frost Blast just to destroy a bunch of set cards on the field, so like, this is actually kind of funny against Subterror. Destroys their set cards. 1 D-Barrier. I'll probably side in 2 more of these, to be completely honest with you, because once Master Rule 5 comes up, those decks will be a lot more prevalent and a lot more terrifying. And I'm not really worried about links at the current moment anyways, so like, that's definitely a thought process. Might even just completely change these 2 for 2 more of these, to be completely honest with you. Anyways, Escalation of the Monarchs and Erupt, just in case that you need to be able to see this more often, and same thing with this. And once again, because I've been seeing a steady increase in traps recently, 2 Royal Decree. I'm tired of your traps, I'm gonna shut them off. That's pretty much what this card is saying. And by the time that I activate this, all my traps will already have been activated. I don't care. By the time that you start activating, I don't care. I just don't. But anyways, so that's it for the deck. It's pretty streamlined, straightforward. If there's any comments, suggestions, anything, put it in the comments below. Anyways, have yourselves a great day.